I guess it's time to talk politics again. So why did Donald Trump get elected? It had nothing to do with people widely believing that he knew how to run a government better than anyone else. It had little or nothing to do with his past political performance or lack thereof. It had absolutely nothing to do with his knowledge on worldly affairs or on trade or on healthcare, education, or even finance. It was because Donald Trump was saying out loud what everyone else was thinking, that government only thinks of itself. Politicians are always looking for ways to get people to vote for them. And while it's not the only reason why everyone gets into politics, it is widely perceived that they only care about keeping their jobs, not whether or not they are doing the right thing. So is Kathleen Wynne doing the right thing with Bill 148, called the Fair Workplaces and Better Jobs Act? Absolutely not. This will be a travesty for a large number of people at the bottom end of the economic ladder. I know what advocates of this bill are saying. I don't know what I'm talking about. We need better wages. We need fairer workplaces. In fact, I have a very good, longtime friend of mine who is adamantly in favor of this particular bill. But what he may not understand is there is a real world out here. Not one where formulas on paper necessarily work. Not one where speculative theories from economists become reality. So my friend and economists who work in offices with no windows all are saying that raising the minimum wage, introducing the other 172 regulations under Bill 148 that actually all cost businesses more money, will somehow put more money into the pockets of businesses. What they fail to do is tell us how. Because every single study on this in every single jurisdiction it has happened in has generated substantially more unemployment. For every 10% increase in minimum wage, youth unemployment has risen by up to 6%. Kathleen Wynne is proposing to increase minimum wage by 32%, which would mean that youth unemployment will rise from 14% to 32%, which, by the way, is the same level of youth unemployment that Europe, and yes, Greece, is facing right now. Don Drummond, remember him from the Drummond Report, who said if you don't implement these cost-saving measures, Ontario will track towards the same dilemma as Greece. Well, he might be the only economist whose prediction was accurate. Look, here are the facts. In 2014, Ms. Wynne set a new minimum wage and tied it to inflation. That is impossible to defend and likely the right thing to do. She has fostered too many debacles and scandals to mention and finds her government approval ratings the lowest of any party in Canada's history. 1 year from an election. She's desperate. She knows unconditionally that she can't get any Conservative voters on her side and only takes about 38 or 39% of the popular vote to get elected. So she is attacking the NDP supporters and trying to sway the union vote her way by implementing a barrage of benefits for them. That will undermine Ontario's competitiveness. It will drive jobs out of the province. It will virtually eliminate investment. It will cause massive unemployment for youth who usually don't vote anyway. The play here is not to do what is right. It is simply to do what will get them elected again. In their quiet places, in the back of their minds, they all know the truth. Some ma and pa businesses will shut down. They'll close. Others will lay off or cut back hours, or both. Big businesses will find suppliers in the U.S. who are cheaper because their Ontario suppliers have to raise prices because of the cost of their payroll. Jobs lost, businesses lost, investment lost. And the problem is, we won't see that all come until after the next election. I have to tell you, I didn't believe much of all the shenanigans the opposition parties were touting about the Liberal Party. You know, hiding things and covering up scandals on purpose, cutting deals but never telling us what they really did. I was sure that all political posturing by the opposition and that they stretched the real truth. Now I'm convinced they were right. And I'm absolutely sure that even they don't know all of the things this government has done to cover, dodge, and root out the taxpayer. Now for the last. We have been invited to appear before the Standing Committee who is traveling the province to hear from the people most affected by this bill. Each party gets to pick 6 people or organizations to speak to the committee directly. My colleague, Patty Carr in North Bay, had their meeting already yesterday. She said there were 12 union labor groups who spoke, and courtesy was given to 6 businesses. the most affected group. The union and labor groups all said, this is great, you've done well, but you have not gone far enough. So the committee hears 12 say it's good, 6 say it's bad. What's the summary? The overwhelming majority of presenters at the meetings supporting Bill 148. A complete scam. My friend, you know who you are. You go ahead and support this, but I want you and my MPP, Catherine McGarry, who supports this bill strongly, to come with me sometime next spring. Tell those young people who lost their jobs because of Bill 148, right to their face, that this is a good thing. Yes, you fell through the cracks, but it was worth sacrificing you so others can benefit. I don't for 1 minute believe that you have the courage to do that. You cannot control what happens in business. If there is no money, there are no jobs. I have yet to hear from one business that say they can tolerate the actions of this bill. I have yet to hear from one business that they won't have to make cuts in hours, staff, benefits, or contributions to their local community charities by supporting this. You will be to blame for the anxiety that some will face. I know it's only some, but it bothers me that anyone can think that someone can be sacrificed. I spoke with an agency yesterday who's responsible for placing youth in our workplace who are troubled or having difficulties. One of their clients takes 30 to 40 young people a year, gives them hope, teaches them skills, helps them deal with their issues. My friend was told by this employer that they will be unable to participate in the program after January the 1st. So I already have 30 or 40. You can tell them their sacrifice is okay because of the greater good has been served. Small businesses don't hoard all of their money. They struggle every single day, every single year. They've had good times and they've had bad. Right now, for many, it's bad. They don't want to be like this, but they are offered no other choices. If this were phased in over 5 years, I'm sure the vast majority of businesses, if not all, could possibly agree to this plan. There's no planning time for the current bill. They must react swiftly, and in all probability, they will overcompensate, to the dismay of many, many workers at the bottom of the economic ladder. If you own a business or manage one, you understand me completely. If you don't, ask someone that does. What will they do to accommodate these new changes? Don't just take my word for it. They will be happy to tell you what it will do to their workforce and their business. And then, in the end, if you agree, tell the Premier, tell your MPP, tell everyone you know that this bill must be amended. It is wrong to sacrifice people to get votes for an election. It must not hurt current jobs. It must not drive investment away. It must not close businesses. It needs to speak to the real world, not the economists who speculate and theorize. The government, the MPPs, must listen to the job creators in this province. They need them to keep doing what they have been doing since the beginning of time. Create jobs, opportunities, and take care of people. I'm Greg DeRocher.